major speeches taking place this weekend in Jackson Hole, investors' attention is already focused towards any hint from Ben Bernanke as to whether the Federal Reserve will start printing money for a third time. Joining me now to discuss currency movement in the Forex market and FX projections going forward is Senior FX Strategist Antje Praefcke from Commerzbank in Frankfurt. Antje, thank you very much for joining me. Now, first off, the euro-dollar is holding pretty steady at the moment ahead of key events which will most likely influence the pair's movement. But going forward, according to your forecast, you see the pair spiralling into a downward trend. What do you see driving this euro weakness, and what are your expectations from the Federal Reserve and the ECB going forward?
Well, actually, we have three major themes being discussed in the market at the moment. It's the ECB action, the possible ECB action, which will be decided on September 6th probably. Then we have the question if the Fed will increase again its quantitative easing, so if it will switch to QE3, and furthermore we have the issue of Chinese growth slowing down. Now the first two issues, ECB action and Fed QE3, are the major issues being discussed in the market and driving FX markets. For the moment, the market expects the ECB to act, to announce something big on the 6th of September. Moreover, it expects that on Friday, Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke is likely to kind of like pre-announce quantitative easing 3. Although we only have the next FOMC meeting in mid-September. Now, this keeps the euro up and the dollar under pressure. However, we think that the market will be disappointed in its expectations. First of all, the ECB is likely to still work on any action, but is unlikely to really pre-announce any big details on the 6th of September, because the issue is very complicated and it's highly discussed in the market and in the ECB itself. Moreover, it is likely that Ben Bernanke will not pre-announce any QE3 measures. He has never ever pre-committed in a Jackson Hole speech about further Fed action. He only did it once in August 2010, but we had completely different situations back then. So we think the market will be disappointed, and that means euro-dollar is likely to head again south. The euro is likely to fall again against the US dollar.
Dollar CAD broke below parity near the beginning of August and has been trading there ever since. And the Canadian dollar has continued to strengthen versus its US counterpart as of recent, posting its strongest level since May amid an advance in crude oil, which is of course the nation's largest export. How do you expect the loonie dollar to perform against the US dollar over the next 12 months?
Well, I think the loonie will continue to show a quite good performance against the US dollar. Currently, it is benefiting, as I just said, from the high oil price, and it's benefiting from expectations that the Fed will switch to QE3. Since we do not expect the Fed to do that at the moment, we will wait for the non-farm payroll report at the beginning of September to have any clearer picture on that. I guess that as well in the loonie we will see some disappointment due to these expectations, so I think we will head again towards parity. However, overall I think due to its sound economic fundamentals, its low debt levels, the Canadian dollar will perform pretty well, and I expect dollar CAD to remain basically below parity throughout the next couple of months.
Moving on to discuss another commodity-linked currency to look at commodity prices and currency movement. Naturally, as China's economy falters, the outlook for New Zealand's and even Australia's economy has weakened. What base case scenario have you built your New Zealand dollar US dollar forecast on in the short, mid and long term?
I expect as well the Kiwi dollar to show a good resilience and a good performance over the next couple of months, because we know that the central bank, the RBNZ, is likely to remain on hold. It's likely to keep its rates at 2.5% for the moment, and it expects inflation to increase, and it expects quite strong positive impact from the reconstruction efforts after the earthquakes we saw 1.5 years ago. So since the RBNZ expects more economic dynamics and activity over the next couple of months and increasing inflation rates, it is unlikely, highly unlikely, to cut rates again. On the contrary, we expect that due to increasing inflationary pressures, the RBNZ is likely to hike rates maybe even at the end of the year, if not at the beginning of next year. So the outlook for the rates, for the yield, is likely to support the Kiwi. And as long as we do not see any, let's say, collapse of the Chinese economy, I think the New Zealand economy will continue to show quite a good resilience, and to continue to grow compared specifically to other G10 countries, for instance, the Eurozone, pretty well. So for me, the Kiwi should remain around the 80 level against the US dollar. I don't see a strong positive upside momentum because we lack fundamental momentum. However, it should remain on pretty high levels against the US dollar.
Antje, thank you very much again for that technical analysis and your forecast for those pairs going forward. Now that's all for Targets in Focus today. Join us again for this week's last edition on Friday. But in the meantime, there is plenty to keep you updated and informed today on DukascopyTV. So do stay tuned. Goodbye for now.